Would you look at the time? It is time for another video. Good day to you, my fellow adventurers throughout time and space. It is I, the Cowardly Time Lord, welcoming you to another LEGO video. It's not really a review, it's not really a showcase, it's something in between. Anyways, as you can see, I've been busy. I have built the Death Star. And to celebrate such an occasion, the entire Imperial army is here to celebrate. Yes, indeed. Once I've done this video, and then probably a video just exploring the Death Star itself, I will do a video of just the Imperial army. As you can see, there's some other stuff here that is kind of in the way. So, let's start up front, shall we? With the advent calendar from last winter. I built the battle droid out of the parts that come in the separate days. And there's Babu Frick. The best thing from the sequels. Easily. The one thing that the sequels got right. And then the other advent calendar builds down through the list. Yes. That is all I need to show there. And now, for a part that kind of needs some explanation. So, the first row here is some custom figures I made. 2 Imperial cadets. Andor's mother. It works better if I put the B2 emo next to her. It makes sense. That was how I did. That was what I did. And then, Rook. The, oh, I forget the name. But the Imperial Assassin Rook of that one alien race. He serves Thrawn. It's basically, yeah, I made a custom. As you know, if you've watched my videos in the past, you know there's some other Imperial custom figures. I might have updated them a little and blah, 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 blah. And then, behind that, are Imperials that I have specifically ordered recently to fill out the ranks. So, specifically, this nice TIE pilot with... Okay, come on. Focus. Arm printing. Goes beside the other one. I know they're different, but they are my 2 TIE pilots with arm printing, so they go side by side despite being very different. The Death Trooper goes right there. Oh, I guess funny story time, I'll start here. So, when I got that, Death Trooper, I don't know if I have easy access to... No, I don't think I do. When I got that Death Trooper, they, sent it to me, and it had a bad helmet. A really damaged helmet. I don't know where I put it now. It was insanely damaged, and they sent the Prickling seller an email like, look, this helmet is really damaged, like, inexcusably damaged for what you said was a fine figure. And then they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. I sent them the image, and they were like, ooh, that's bad. And they got me a helmet and replaced it, and everything turned out well. This blue guy goes over here. Anyways, speaking of issues with Bricklink orders, when I was ordering 2 K2SOs just to represent the Imperial security droids there, 2 extra K2SOs to represent Imperial security droids, they sent me 1. They sent me 1. I ordered 2. I paid for 2 on the Bricklink store. Luckily, they also resolved the issue and sent me the other one totally free of charge. And also 2 extra figures, being that that Tusken Raider and this mix-mashed piece Rebel Trooper. I have replacement parts that I'm going to put on rather than the Luke Skywalker head and old Luke Skywalker legs. Anyways, there's Cobb Vanth from the Cobb Vanth Speeder, which is back there. And next to my custom Cobb Vanth from a while ago. These are other Imperial era figures that I ordered in recent times to fill out my army. Now, since Babu Frick came in the Advent calendar, this is my last time to talk about the sequel trilogy, which is where this Palpatine is from. Yes, this version of Palpatine is from Episode 9, Unlimited Power. Come on, admit it, my Palpatine voice is quite amazing. And then, I just wanted to order one singular sequel trilogy TIE Fighter pilot with 3 lines on the helmet. The red line one came fine, whatever. But, what ended up happening? What could have possibly ended up happening to result in me having so many sequel trilogy TIE Fighter pilots? First one I ordered, what did I get? I got one of those too. I said, okay, I'll order one with 3 lines, one with 2 lines on the helmet. 2 with 3 lines showed up. I tried it again. 2 more. Yeah. 2 more with 3 lines on the helmet showed up. Finally just ordered from a store that had one with 2 lines and one with 3 lines on the helmet to even out my number. First order TIE Fighter pilots. And yes, the rest of them are all for evening out my first order. So, yeah, I suppose I should do a video about that again. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I might do that later. A while later. Yeah. I have the Ultimate TIE Fighter collection. That's such a cool set. I'm so happy to have that in my collection. The Force Burner Speeders back there. I know I'm not showing these things off very well. I never do. If that weren't clear. I don't know what I'm doing. These aren't reviews. These are barely anything videos. Technically, this set comes with one of the most interesting minifigures ever, as much as it is just 2 pieces. The little droid brain. It is 2 pieces, but it is a Star Wars figure, and it is now in my collection, and it is technically Imperial figure. I might remove it from the droid TIE Fighter, which is a very rare TIE Fighter variant, and very cool. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what I'm doing here now. So obviously, the Death Star. Is it worth the $1,000 or however much Canadian it cost me to get? No. Is it anywhere near as bad as some people make it out to be? Also, no. Is it still pretty bad and has its weak points? Yep. One of the worst ones being you cannot access that room at all. Some rooms just pop right out, slide right out. The council chamber, you can't, it doesn't slide. It does not slide out. That is a problem for a man with big hands that wants to put his Imperial Council around the room. Also, Well, we could endlessly debate about figures that are missing from the Death Star. I understand that they can't include the entire Imperial Council for whatever reason that might be. I, I don't agree with it. I think that if you're recreating that scene, you need every single Imperial officer that we see in that scene. But I I get it. I get it. I get it. They're they're very um not well known to people who aren't deep into the lore. I can't name any of them. I probably got the names to. I mean, I got Admiral Moti and General Tig from building the set. Like, that is. I know those characters because I've built this set. The character who I think is most missing from Ultimate Collector Series Death Star in this style, with including everything how it is perhaps one of the most important characters on the second Death Star, Moff Jerjerrod. Moff Jerjerrod, the Supreme Commander of the second Death Star, nowhere to be seen. I don't agree with that. I just think that he should have been included somehow. But yes, as you can see, my Imperial collection quite a big thing. All my Imperial troops lined up, all of this power. I don't know what else I'm doing with this. Duel on Peridia, the gingerbread AT-AT, I love it. The new U-Wing, oh, I have a complaint about that. The fact that, well, obviously it's shrunken down compared to the previous model, and I hated the previous model because of how hard it was to get into the space underneath. At least I actually gave a proper place to put a minifigure in this new model, I guess. There's the Hoth medical chamber. It can't really be seen. I kind of had to squeeze it under there to fit everything else. But yeah, this was a... This, as you see it now, is just a complete collectioning. Also, I have these 2 extra Stormtrooper helmets to put on the new Luke and Han come with their Stormtrooper disguises. It's pathetic that it doesn't come with the 2 extra Stormtrooper helmets to make them Stormtroopers. Extra Stormtroopers for the army. Misprint Stormtrooper hiding away amongst the army. He is so derp. Derpy derpy derpity derp derp. Derpity derp derp. Yes. I don't know what I'm doing. It's been a long time since I've recorded, if you couldn't tell. And I'm putting on a voice, as usual. Oh yeah, the extra TIE Fighter pilot, obviously, to match the TIE Fighter pilot that came in the expansion pack for the Death Star. Because yes, I bought this thing day 1. While I was on vacation, I bought it online day 1. And, of course, I had to get an extra of the Hot Tub Stormtrooper. One of the funnier things in the new UCS Death Star. The old TIE Fighter collection surprisingly had no issues while building. I said no issues. I missed the step because, of course, back in those days, it didn't tell you exactly which pieces go on each step. You had to look at the images and decide for yourself. So I missed a few steps, and then I had to go back and reread the instruction booklet twice over. To figure out where I missed things. The top dishes sometimes just pop off at random. Like, seriously, just... Boing! But overall, I'm surprised that no pieces broke. Everything stayed together well. No complaints from me. Force burner speeder, very cool, especially if you have watched the Rebuild the Galaxy and understand what who the characters are. It's a pretty good set. I feel like there could have been a lot more done with Rebuild the Galaxy. A lot more done. What else? I showed off the Cobb Vanth versus the new one. Of course, since I got the Ultimate TIE Fighter collection, Darth Vader has a chrome lightsaber hilt. I don't know if I'm going to take it off that Darth Vader, but I don't know who I'm going to give the chrome lightsaber hilt to. I mean, my current Darth Vader could definitely use a replacement. Lightsaber hilt's cracked. That's the reason why there's a gold hollow stud at the top of the lightsaber, because the chrome lightsaber hilt cracked. I know I've mentioned that before, but I'm just saying it again. I'll show the interior of the AT, the Christmas AT-AT gingerbread. I love it. The gingerbread Darth Vader is totally joining my Imperial army. I don't care. Usually I don't like the Christmas seasonal versions of characters as much, like the ones that are just like in a Christmas sweater or Santa Claus outfit, whatever. I love the gingerbread Darth Vader. Yes, he's actually worth viewing more closely. And yes, I gave extra weapons to certain characters, and I'm probably still going to play around with weapons more. I'm going to give the real Cobb Vanth a gun from the Lone Ranger sets. Gingerbread Darth Vader cape. I love the detailing. Also, I don't know if... Okay, let's put it down to here. I don't know if there's mismolding or what, but there's some weird sort of white bits on the one side of the Darth Vader helmet that I think are bad molding. I love all the details. Okay, there you go. You can kind of see it, what I'm talking about. But yeah, I love the gingerbread Darth Vader. I thought about switching out his saber blade for the extra candy cane in the set, just to further cement the fact that it, while counting as part of my Imperial army, my official Imperial army, that I'll have to totally rework, and I can't wait to do that. As much as I know that sounds kind of sarcastic, I genuinely want to do that. I've just been so enjoying setting this all up, and I wanted to show you guys, is the long and the short of it. Hold on, I have a bit of an idea here. So, let's give my opinion on the Duel on Peridea. Great set if you want figures. The build is lackluster. The turning table mechanics are certainly a thing. I gave Ahsoka the those lightsabers, Thrawn a silver pistol and gold epaulets. And how do I mean, I don't justify really, because of course I have multiple targets. Yes, the other plate is right underneath. That's how but yes, I don't justify other tokens. But how do I justify two Grand Admiral Thrawns? Well, one of them isn't Thrawn, it's the con man, the con man that worked for Major Tierce and Governor Dorja, whatever. I am, of course, referring to the Thrawn impersonator from Visions of the Future. That sounds right. And the battle pack, it's a battle pack. I just wanted more troopers. What else is there to say? Of course, I love getting extra troopers. Anyways, there's the Cobb Vanth minifigure. Totally awesome. I'm going to try my best to put all the pieces for my custom back where they came from. Somewhat. At a later point. I'm sorting my collection out to that way. Also, sad news, I found while going through my pot of extra heads and bins, and because I made all my custom figures out of course, official minifigure pots, I discovered that one of my Mace Windu's heads exploded. And also one of my rarest Luke Skywalker heads, also for some reason cracked right in half, right down the middle of the face print. Damaged. Anyways, this is the little Imperial dropship. Wish we got a actual good-sized one of it. These old TIE fighters surprisingly are quite good for what they are. And of course, I just am happy to complete out my TIE fighter collection. There's the little Hoth medical chamber. But yeah, the Luke Skywalker that came in the UCS Battle on Hoth, which is up there. That one. That Luke Skywalker's face broke in half. I was using it as part of a Lego comic series to display one of the main characters, but it broke. The Force Burner speeder with its little detachable, well, the little side speeder that detaches from the main speeder is really cool. The Stap is pretty good Stap. And also, for whatever reason, my U-Wing came with an extra set of Cassian Andor hair. It's weird. It is odd. I do like to point out errors like that when it comes to Lego. God knows, I thought there were a few. Luckily, I was just misplaced some pieces. Luckily. Building the Death Star, I thought I lost part of the roof. Like, I got to the roof and I was missing a piece, and I was like, oh, but luckily I was able to find it. I will do a video on the Death Star entirely if you want me to. It probably won't be much. You know what? I can show you the main things about it. Let's see here. Well, first off, let's look at the little plate, which is nice that this is a printed tile and not a sticker. And yes, I gave them blasters. I also love how it's the data disc. Come on. Oh, wait, that's the wrong way. I don't know what the little... This is supposed to be probably the upload point for the data on the Death Star. So, this bridge extends. I love that. I really do. That's actually one of the best play features. I already showed you how certain rooms can just slide right out, like that one. I forget which ones can just slide out. This causes Luke Skywalker to swing back and forth. Ow. Ow. Whee! Of course, the, as previously discussed, Imperial room that has no access. This panel flips up to reveal two gunners working away in there. This entire part of the roof is just loosely attached. And the main elevator for this Death Star is controlled entirely through this part, right at the top. Which is cool. Also incredibly annoying. It takes forever to move and just isn't a worthwhile play feature. There's stuff around the back to do things. I honestly forget everything and how it works. Right. You can't even see it, but you can switch Alderaan from being there to being boom. There we are. You can actually have a figure go all the way from... Oops. I might have just damaged one of the TIE fighters. Yeah, I did. But you can actually, if you pop this open... I think this... No. Where is it? I forget, but you can actually, the trash compactor is actually connected all the way up, and you can of course close the trash compactor. I forget how at this point. Yeah, I'd have to look around behind the back of the Death Star to figure that out. You pull out Darth Vader's little meditation chamber, and there's some pictures in there. Well, there's a sticker for Palpatine to be looking at Darth Vader, and there's secret rooms. You can find better reviews of this Death Star elsewhere online. I know that's bad of me to say that, but you can. Yeah, I think that's really it for this video. I am just going, from here, I'm just going to take all these figures off and figure out where I'm putting all these sets. I already have a place in mind for the Death Star, because obviously that's the biggest issue. But yeah, I enjoyed building it. It was certainly a challenging build. I'll just be honest, it's probably up there with the UCS Falcon as my most likely to be sold in the future built sets. Not to say, but I love it for the figures, and it's definitely a collector's piece. I just don't have the room. I'm very fast running out of room for all my stuff. Anyways, this video's been an absolute mess. I forgot to even look up the set numbers for all the sets, so don't expect to find those in the description like I sometimes do. Yeah. Next up, expect a big Imperial showcase, I guess, because I've shown all I want to show with the Death Star. It's a set. It is a set. They made it too display to be a play thing, and obviously it's way too big and expensive to be a play thing, and they put too many weird, unnecessary play features. The standing bridge is definitely a necessary play feature. I'm sorry, that is my opinion. But they put in too many unnecessary play features that it's like, ooh. Also, I've got big hands. It is a nightmare trying to maneuver figures around inside this Death Star. I just think I really think Lego missed the mark, and I'm not afraid to say it because, well, I'm a collector. I'm a collector through and through. I don't get paid for this. I wouldn't want to be paid for this. Well, I would. But yeah. This is the Cowardly Time Lord signing off and saying, have a good day, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Bye-bye now.